Hey everyone, and welcome. Are you ready to dive into something new and really cool? Today, we're starting our adventure into algebra. Now, I know that word can sound a little intimidating, but trust me, it's basically just learning how to be a math detective and solve fun mysteries.
So, here's our roadmap for today. First, we're going to figure out why on earth there are letters in math all of a sudden. Then, we'll learn the secret code for writing with them. After that, we'll get to know the names for all the different parts. And finally, the best part, we're going to put it all together to find a mystery number. Sound good? Okay, let's jump in.
All right, first things first. Have you ever looked at a math problem and thought, wait a minute, why are there letters here now? It definitely looks a little weird at first, but I'll let you in on a little secret. Letters are actually here to make our lives easier, not harder. Let me show you what I mean with a quick story. Okay, so imagine there's this really cool set of stairs. We'll call them the donation stairs. And for every single person who uses them, 10 cents gets donated to charity. Pretty awesome, right? Well, this is the perfect example to show us why letters can be so helpful. Let's check out the pattern here. If just one person uses the stairs, that's 10 cents donated. If 2 people use them, we get 20 cents. 3 people? What do you think? Yep, 30 cents. Are you seeing the rule here? For every person, we just add another 10 cents. In other words, we're taking the number of people and multiplying it by 10. But here's the thing. What if we wanted to write down a rule for any number of people? I mean, we don't know if 10 people or maybe 1,000 people are going to use the stairs. How could we possibly write that down? Well, this is where algebra swoops in to save the day. We just use a letter as a placeholder for that number we don't know yet. And let's use the most famous mystery letter of all time, X. So whenever you see this X, I just want you to think, oh, that's the mystery number of people. That's all it is. We call this letter a variable. And that's just a fancy word because the number it stands for can change or vary. X is just our placeholder for that number we don't know yet. Okay, that's awesome. Now that we've got our mystery letter, let's learn how to write our math sentences in a much shorter, kind of faster way. It's like learning a secret code that all the math pros use to save a little bit of time. We just have 3 super simple rules to remember. Rule number 1, the number always goes before the letter. That way we can just drop the little multiplication sign. Rule 2, if the number is a 1, we don't even bother writing it. It's kind of invisible. And rule 3, if you multiply a letter by itself, you can just write it once with a little number up top, which we call a power. So let's try our new secret code on our donation stairs problem. Remember we had 10 times x? Well, using our new rule, we can just squish them together and write 10x. It means the exact same thing. We just write the number right next to the letter. See how much cleaner that looks? That's what algebra is all about, making things simpler. You're doing great so far. Okay, so now let's learn the names for the different parts of these new math sentences we're writing. Once you know the lingo, it makes talking about this stuff way easier. Our very first new word is term. A term is just one of the pieces or one of the building blocks in a math sentence. It can be a plain old number, a single letter, or a number and a letter smushed together. Let's look at an example. So if we look at this little expression, 3x plus 2, you can see it has 2 main parts, or 2 terms. The first term is 3x, and the second term is the number 2. See how they're separated by that plus sign? Okay, our next word is coefficient. I know it sounds super fancy, but it's really easy. The coefficient is just the number that's attached to the letter. It's like the letter's number buddy. It just tells you how many of that letter you have. So, back in our term 3x, the number buddy hanging out with the x is the 3. That means 3 is our coefficient. It's as simple as that. And our last new word for this section is constant. And this is the easiest one of all. It's any term that's just a number all by itself with no letter friend. It's called a constant because its value is always the same. It's constant. So in our example, 3x plus 2, the number all on its own is the 2. That makes 2 our constant. You are doing an absolutely amazing job. Okay, next up, we're going to learn how to tidy up our math sentences. I want you to think about cleaning up a messy room. You'd put all the socks in one pile and all the t-shirts in another pile, right? Well, we do the exact same thing in algebra. In algebra, we call the things that belong in the same pile like terms. And like terms are just any terms that have the exact same letter part. The number in front, the coefficient, can be totally different, but that letter part has to match perfectly. Let's take a look. On the left, we have 2x and 5x. Let's pretend x means apples. So we have 2 apples and 5 apples. Hey, they're both apples, right? So they are like terms. But over on the right, 2x and 5y would be like having 2 apples and 5 bananas. They're different fruits, so they are not like terms. Same goes for 4x and 4x squared. That little 2 up there makes it a totally different kind of thing.
So, here's the cool part. You can only add or subtract things that are like terms. It's like you can only combine the apples with the other apples. So if we have 26 apples, or 26x, and we get 28 more apples, or 28x, how many do we have in total? Well, we just add the numbers. 26 plus 28 is 54. So we have 54 apples, or 54x. See? The letter part just comes along for the ride.
We are getting so close to solving our first big mystery. The very last big idea we need to talk about is the equation. An equation is just a math sentence that has an equal sign in it. And the best way to picture an equation is to think of a perfectly balanced scale.
Now, there is one super important rule for these scales. We'll call it the golden rule of algebra. To keep the scale perfectly balanced, whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you have to do the exact same thing to the other side. If you add 2 to the left side, you gotta add 2 to the right side. That's the key to everything.
All right, team, this is it. This is the moment we've been working towards. We've learned about variables, we've learned the secret code, and we know the golden rule of balance. It's time to put all our detective skills to work and finally find out what our mystery number x is. Let's do this.
Okay, here's our mystery. X plus 4 equals 9. Our mission, if we choose to accept it, is to figure out what x is. To do that, we need to get x all by itself on one side of the scale. Right now, it's not alone. It's got a plus 4 hanging out with it. So, how do we get rid of adding 4? We do the exact opposite. The opposite of adding is subtracting. So we'll subtract 4. But what's our golden rule? We have to do it to both sides to keep things balanced. On the left side, adding 4 and then taking away 4, they just cancel each other out. Poof! All that's left is our x. And on the right side, what's 9 minus 4? It's 5. And there it is. Mystery solved. We found it. X equals 5.
And just like that, you did it. You solved your very first algebra equation. How cool is that? You found the mystery number all by yourself. You took a puzzle, you used logic, and you found the answer. That is absolutely fantastic. Now that you have these new detective skills, what mystery will you go solve next? Thank you so much for learning with me today.